As we begin the discussion, let's take an instant to reflect on our current standing as a region. South Asia's coastal nations are now among the world's top polluters of marine plastic. Nearly 7 to 80% of our waste ends up in the ocean, and about 12% of that is plastic. So the Bay of Bengal, right here on our backyard, now holds the highest concentration of ocean plastic globally. If we continue on this path by 2050, the amount of mismanaged waste in South Asia could double to 606 million tons. So these are not just the numbers, they reflect the urgent reality that our region is currently facing. So the plastic pollution has become one of the most serious environmental challenge in South Asia. Sri Lanka is no exception. So that's where the PLACE project, the Plastic-Free Rivers and Seas for South Asia, comes in. Funded by the World Bank and implemented by the CSEP, which supported from innovators, this project works to reduce plastic pollution entering South Asia seas by promoting innovation, circular economy solutions, and community-based actions. So here in Sri Lanka, the PLACE project has supported women-led recycling initiatives, community enterprises, and inclusive waste management system. So demonstrating how plastic waste can be transformed into something valuable through creativity, technology, and collaboration. In today's webinar, we will explore how these efforts and the inspiring individuals behind them are helping to transition towards the circular plastic economy, where waste becomes a resource and sustainability becomes a shared goal. And what makes this even more meaningful are the human stories, the voices of individuals and communities who have turned challenges into the opportunities, providing that actual change begins with people and passion. So it is my great pleasure to welcome our panel of renowned speakers who bring a wealth of experience and insight to today's discussion. First, we have Mr. Damitha, Project Manager at the National Research Council's BLUECAP, with over 22 years of experience in sustainable energy, waste management, and business model development, and he has led significant projects across South and Southeast Asia, and now serves as a consultant at the Negombo Recycling Club. Next, we are joined by Mr. Sujith Gunawardhana, Director of INSEE Ecocycle, a leader in driving Sri Lanka's circular economy transition, a chemical engineering background, and certified project management professional. Sujith brings strong expertise in sustainability, waste to energy, and strategic business innovation, and is currently pursuing his doctorate in circular economy. And finally, Mr. Rakulan, Kandasamy, Executive Director of Serve Life, is a passionate climate advocate, leading community-driven initiatives to combat plastic pollution and promote sustainable waste management across Sri Lanka. So let's warmly welcome Mr. Damitha, Sujith, and Rakulan, three change makers committed to shaping a clearer, more circular future of our region. So now I can move on to the first question, coming to these, starting with Damitha. So Damitha, can you just tell us, as a project manager, BLUECAP, National Research Council, and so now turning to, you have extensive experience managing sustainable energy and waste management projects across South and Southeast Asia. You have seen how these challenges play out on the ground. From your perspective, what are the biggest barriers to effective waste management in our regions? Is it a lack of technology, or gaps in policy, or the absence of strong community engagement? And how we can bridge those gaps and make waste management more practical and sustainable? Yes.
Yeah. Am I audible clearly, Doctor?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Right. Okay. Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank the World Bank, Sakit, and for organizing this webinar and giving us the opportunity. Representing Nigambo Recycling Club, we were one of the grantees of the BLUECAP project. But generally bringing in our experience and thought of the key issues, what are the main areas, barriers to manage the plastic waste. I would say, Doctor, it's not just one thing. It's a combination of these three aspects, especially you mentioned. May it be community engagement, policy level gaps, and also technology. All three affects our region, especially Sri Lanka. So it's a combination of these that are lacking. Few examples, if I were to bring in, what I see is like one main thing that is lacking specifically when we talk about community engagement, community awareness. We are yet to really localize how we need to engage the community, how we need to localize our intervention. So that we need to understand, if you talk about Sri Lanka, what's the Sri Lankan context, what's the cultural norms, how we can engage our communities in different aspects. We need to really understand. We are moving ahead in that side, but that's a gap. We are trying to sometimes duplicate certain practices which either happens in Western Europe or somewhere else, which are fashionable elsewhere in the world, but may not really fit into our context. That's one thing. And another side, if you look at the technology aspect, here and there, we have the technologies in place, but really integrating them together, using it in a comprehensive manner is lacking. So industrial symbiosis is something that we lack. Integrating the technology, there are certain places where there is technology, but the other infrastructure connecting that, managing, for example, waste to energy is still new to Sri Lanka. Few pioneers there already also in this webinar, so that is management system. The policy
Okay.
on doc have very good. Yeah, so that's another.
Yeah, next I can move on to turning to Sujith. As a director of INSEE Ecocycle, you have been leading efforts that define how business think about waste. Many companies still see waste management as an obligation rather than an opportunity. So what is your view on how industries in Sri Lanka and South Asia more broadly can move beyond recycling, start redesigning their operation to minimize plastic use from a very beginning? How can circular economy thinking become part of every business models rather than an add-on?
Yeah, good morning, Professor and everyone. And thank you for the opportunity given by World Bank and SACAP. And, so on this project, so we were also part of the project. And of course, INSEE Ecocycle is a leading waste management service provider in the country over 20 years. So we do multiple types of waste management. This is one part of it, the plastic recycling or resource recovery. Coming into your question, Doctor, of course, I can talk hours on that because this is the question actually. Because if you take waste management isolatedly to manufacturing organizations, that becomes a burden on one side, and that itself cannot drive the circular economy. Because if you look at plastic specifically, because the project is on plastics is not a bad material, but the people have made it bad. Like we misuse it. Say, for example, if you look at a water bottle, the communities or we believe that the bottle belongs to someone else. We own only the water when we purchase a water bottle. That is the type of attitude normally the communities have. We intend to use the water and then throw the bottle away rather than looking at what is happening to that afterwards. So this, if you really look at from a circular economy point of view, you need to look at the total life cycle, what happens to the packaging and how it goes back to the cycle. That thinking need to come from the manufacturers as well as users. Right now, we see this link, like if the consumers also look at whether the manufacturers are working on the circularity, looking at the life cycle thinking, whether they are designing products so that they can go in the life cycle, then the manufacturers get the pressure from the buyers, which will drive the circular economy. But we don't see that at the moment. Consumers believe that, okay, waste is not our problem, and they just throw things away. So the pressure from the buyers is not coming to the manufacturers. Because of that, the circular economy is not driven actually. That's why it becomes then a burden for the manufacturer, because consumers do not ask for it. It is an add-on, right? But as you said, but in reality, these both sides need to come together. Manufacturer also need to do, and consumers also need to create a pull by creating a pressure. Okay, looking at whether these products which I'm purchasing, are they circular? Whether the manufacturer is looking at making it circular, are they doing anything to make it circular? Like maybe design interventions to make it easier for recycling, easier for resource recovery. Are they responsibly managing waste? So those things also need to come into the picture. Then it becomes a good ecosystem where the security is driven. Then of course you can look at from the beginning, it's part of the business. It's not an add-on. But at the moment that ecosystem is not there. So I believe the consumers need to do a major part, because they are the driving force in this. So which we need to bring into the local context, because I see a gap. There are actually a lot of manufacturers are trying small things, but these other part also need to come together. I think that's why this project is also important, because it did a lot of things to enhance the community awareness and all these things to create this pull for circular economy. Then it becomes a very good ecosystem. That's how I believe, Doctor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sujith. Now, let's hear from Rakulan. Through your work with Server Life, Rakulan, I think, has been deeply involved in community-based initiatives addressing plastic pollution. Often we say change begins at the grassroots level, but they require motivation, awareness, and practical solutions. Based on your experience, how ready are local communities to adapt new habits or reduce their use of single-use plastics when providing with the right support? And what role can youth-led or community-driven movements play in building more sustainable future?
Yeah, thank you, Prof, and thank you, SASAP and World Bank and UNAS for this opportunity. So, from my experience in Northern Province and also the Jaffna district, so people are ready to change their attitude, but there's a problem is that alternative for the plastic and also the awareness. So when is both are coming together, the people will be ready to change. Mainly the alternative for the non-recyclable plastic in Sri Lanka, like shopping bag, one-day cup, like the product. So we must need for the alternative, affordable alternative for that kind of product. In Northern Province, we are using the banana fiber, banana leaf for the alternative for the lunch eat, and also making the cloth bags for the alternative for plastic shopping bag. But still there's a affordable price between the shopping bag with the cloth bag. So we are under this Please project, Server Life bring to the alternative center to do the manufacturing cloth bags for alternative as a shopping bag and also the affordable price. When we as a youth organization doing this initiative, we under this Please project, we initiated the Plastic Zero Initiative project. It means it's zero means there's no single-use plastic, non-recyclable plastic in Sri Lanka. Particularly in Sri Lanka, we have the PET, PP, HTP recyclable recyclers in more recyclers in nowadays, but there is a problem in Sri Lanka, in Jaffna, as well as other regions of Sri Lanka. We don't have a proper recyclable system for the single-use plastic, mainly LDPE. So we don't have any proper system for the shopping bag, lunch it, for that's a kind of material. So the Plastic Zero initiative, we mainly focus on the alternative for the single-use plastic, and also the zero means not food container with the plastic, and also the decoration without plastic. These are the main three pillars for the Plastic Zero initiative. As a youth movement, we are creating the Plastic Zero initiative in the communities and with the support of communities and schools and universities. As a youth, as community driven this initiative, we believe that as a youth, they have the energy, they have the creativity. They have some innovation for the replacement for the plastic or how to use this plastic. So as a youth, we did something under this place project. Yes, Prabh.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for all of your insightful reflection on that. So now talking about this PLEASE project has made tangible differences in promoting sustainable plastic waste management, supporting women-led recycling initiatives, and fostering the community-based action to reduce pollution. So we can understand that. But so I would like to pose this comment question to all of three of you, just to understand from your perspective. In project management and industry leadership and community engagement, how do you see the PLEASE project contributing to the long-term control and management of plastic waste in Sri Lanka? And also, what opportunities do you think it opens up for the stronger partnership across government, private sector, and local communities? Yes. Yes, Damitha.
May I go first? Yeah.
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think one of the key things that PLEASE project did was connecting several actors together, especially not only in Sri Lanka but in the region itself. But if I speak of Sri Lanka today, you see like industrial giants, community organizations, technical recyclers, all and many other. There are a few other entities who are not here, policy driving entities. All those entities who were working in isolation got the opportunity to get together and bring their insights into one common stream. So that was a very important aspect that we got from the PLEASE project. This provides the opportunity for all of us to come into one platform and work together in the future. But stopping from there, I will speak other opportunities that we got, especially as Negombo Recycling Club. We got to conduct more than 1,600 awareness creation programs throughout the country for different sectors, communities like the schools, fishery community, women organizations. There, we had the opportunity to test out different avenues of how to engage the community, how to make them aware. There was a question also posed, so I tapping that as well, especially with school children, not only educating them, but giving them the opportunity to practice what we educate and what we discuss with them. So that's, I think, a good opportunity that we got from the PLEASE project to test out, and which was very successful. I think this will go forward. There was a lot of the education department is very much interested in taking this forward as a future educational prospect for the kids, because I think it's a younger generation that we need to start the change with. Apart from that, we got the opportunity to engage with several other entities in South Asia, like Nepal, Bhutan, who were practicing various technologies for plastic waste management, especially recycling sector. So we tend to connect with them. So yeah, I think those are the key aspects for us in terms of connecting with the PLEASE project.
Yes, thank you, Sujith.
Yes, I would also like to add something, Professor, to what Damit said. If you look at the problem in this plastic circularity specifically, the main issue which we understood, and everyone knows this, the value chain from waste plastic to a pellet or a product. If you map the value chain and if you compare it to a virgin material, which is the byproduct of fossil fuel, the recycled plastic pellet is always having a higher cost. So because of that, it is not attractive for manufacturers to use that, right? This can be beaten by the community engagement only. I mean, if you look at the successful countries where, for example, the developed countries, Japan or wherever, part of this value chain is given to the community. So it is not, you don't need to pay for that, like source segregation and directing it to the right channel. So those things, if the community, if they are doing it, then that value doesn't count for the remanufacturing process. So this is the main intervention what I saw, like which Damit explained in different ways, which we also did. Our challenge was also same. We wanted to do an innovation to complete the cycle, a real cycle, but then this value chain challenge also need to be beaten. So for that, we wanted to start source segregation practices and people getting involved and directing it to the right channel. So that at the beginning of the remanufacturing cycle, part of it is done by the community. So they do their responsibility. As a result, we can bring this value down and it becomes competitive with the virgin. So that is the whole concept. I think it was very successful in this case. For us, it was pretty much, we witnessed the value differences. That's why I think it's the case for everyone else also. So with that, it becomes sustainable also. It's not just a grant and then going out. If you build the right ecosystem, which is running profitably, then it can go on even without the grant. So that is what we built. It comes through this engagement only. With the community engagement, you become part of the value chain. You do your responsibility basically, and it adds the competitiveness to the product. That's how it goes.
Thank you. Thank you, Sujith. And we can also listen to the Rakulan's perspective. Yes, Ram.
Yes. So we are the civil society organization. We are little bit different. The grant is in the place project. So before that project, we believe so as a civil society organization, we can do something for the plastic pollution. But after the police project, we understood we need to the collaboration aspect, like we need to the private sector, we need to the industrial sector, we need to the government sector, and as well as the community engagement. So in the collaborate, in the together, everyone we can solve this problem. So peace project bring to the attention of the waste management, not only for the local authorities responsibility. It's overall everyone responsibility. So it's a community also willing to do their responsibility, and also nowadays we can live without plastic. It's true. So it's a truth. So how the question or the point is how to manage the waste, or how to waste to value. So that's a circular economic aspect. So as a civil society organization, we understood that aspect as well, and also we bring that base to value circular economic in perspective of ourselves and as well as the local authorities. Yes, Prof.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all. It is inspiring to hear how these peace project can act as a bridge connecting innovation, industries, and community to move to Sri Lanka closer to the circular economy for plastic. Thank you so much for that inspiring thoughts. And so we really inspire to clear that these project grant initiatives have not only funded ideas, but have sparked a new generation of change makers who are rethinking waste, innovation, and sustainability together. So these are the kind of idea that can truly move Sri Lanka and South Asia towards to a cleaner, circular future. So, okay, now we can talk about the managing the plastic waste effectively, the Rakulan also highlighting. It is not just about technology and infrastructure. I understood it also about inclusion and collaboration, bringing together maybe women leaders and informal waste sector and the local communities. And again, the public-private partnership to create system that genuinely work for everyone. So my next question to all three of you, how can Sri Lanka strengthen the link between gender inclusion, the informal waste sector, and community engagement through effective public-private partnership? Sorry, and how can initiatives like this project continue to empower women and informal workers, not just the beneficiaries, but as active partners in building a circular economy for plastic? Yes, we can listen to, yeah. Yes, Damit, you are the one starting. Yes.
Yeah. Actually, the PLEASE project itself had a specific focus on women empowerment, women engagement. For example, the BLUECAP project focused on establishing material recovery facilities in 15 parts of the districts of the country. 5 of them were women-owned. I think Sujith is also coming with their intervention. So these were the first time, like there were women-led material recovery facilities, but like we want to have 5 women-owned. So in the business, they have a say, they have the control, they own. It was a very successful initiative. Why? It's not only women empowered, but we see, like if you look at the waste sector in Sri Lanka, there are several syndicates. You could see certain unwanted illegal activities also happening with the waste collection process and waste sector. Sometimes it's very difficult to control. I think with the engagement of women, cleansing this sector is possible because generally in our part of the country, the cultural norms, women take a leadership in cleaning the society. So that was very important. What we realized is that is a key part of formalizing the waste collection sector. That's a very important aspect that this prospect will on. Apart from that, at several levels of engagement, we saw, as mentioned, like informing waste collectors, giving them training. They were not, gender sensitized training in the sector.
Okay. Yeah. I think Damit having some issues and yes.
Yeah, I mean, let me also add.
Yes, you can also add some.
Few things, Professor. I mean, as David said, yes, cleansing is one. I think one of the important thing which David touched. Also, we also had certain elements related to women-led organizations and women-led MRFs, etc. during the project as well. What I understood important, and also I think it is important for the entire waste management sector, is with women coming into picture. One thing is the number of stakeholders get expanded, right? It's not only men doing things, and it is not just going for what is giving you a good return, but carrying all the types of waste. And so because if you look at the waste management sector, a lot of mispractices are also happening. If you can earn from some waste, you just sell it, and the rest of the things you burn. So that is the normal practice in especially with related to plastic as well. But when we are bringing in women, I mean, they bring in certain set of values also, right? They wanted to look at entire thing, and also want to make sure that we are not harming the environment because they are associated with children and all these they look at the quality of work as well when we are dealing with women. That is a qualitative aspect which women bring in when they are empowered and linked to this value chain, which I said. As a result, we see that the outcome is not only quantity but also qualitatively high. They direct the things correct way, and they become part of the ecosystem. They also become benefited, as you said. And on the other side, they make sure that it runs perfectly, and other women are also, in case of women-led organizations, other women are also benefited, and it's sustainable. It's not just making money using plastic, but it has the sustainability part of it for everyone involved.
Yes, okay. Rakulan, I think you're also having some kind of...
Yes. So in this circular economy, or is a plastic collection, women are actually the informal workers, not a formalized workers, and also they are the backbone of the collection, separation, and the recycling process. They are the main role makers. But we need to move on the beneficiary or workers to the partnership in this sector. We believe as an organization, women are main backbone, main role players in the circular economy. in Sri Lanka, there's so many, even the local government, they have the many informal workers in the waste management sector and the circular economy as well. So still we are struggling to the inclusion of this women participation, the proper women participation. There's a participation, but there's not proper participation, like the wage, the proper wage, proper identity, proper respect. We need to move on that in this sector as well as the overall sector, but actually in the waste management and the circular economy in Sri Lanka, we need to have a gender equality. Yes, we have the gender equality, but the inclusion, we need to move on the proper, we think, yes.
Yes, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for all the insights. So when we talk about all these ideas and how these informal sector, especially women participating, it's really very important in today's context. Yes, now let's look at about these something truly happening here. I heard from everyone who were talking about the innovation. So how these innovations are imaged through these peace project grants initiatives here in Sri Lanka. So we could see that over the past few years, Peace Project has been supported a range of the creative practical ideas from women-led recycling facilities or community-based waste segregation models, as we are discussing, and plastic to value enterprise and innovation that brings secular economic thinking of life. So these are not just a pilot project. I know there are real examples how innovation can meet impact. So I would like to hear from each of our panelists on that, how these project grants supported innovations and it helps transform Sri Lanka's approach to manage plastic waste. I think Mr. Damitha may be starting because from a project management perspective, what kind of innovation stood out the most driving sustainable outcome?
Yeah, Professor, one of our main innovation points was, as I mentioned earlier, women-owned material recovery facilities. So that's not a tangible sort of, I would say, a hardware innovation, but it's bringing in the social aspect and the management aspect of enabling women to run material recovery facilities, which is very successful. As I mentioned, we have 5 such women-owned material recovery facilities established after the project. The key thing is like it needs time. This project actually, as the BLUECAP project, which we implemented, happened quite fast. I think only 1.5 years, which I would think generally, ideally, it's at least a 3-year project, like the amount of activities that we implemented. But this innovation is key. We are, since being a private entity that is engaged in the waste value chain, we will continue with this group to empower them, to provide them more technical skills and capacity building. Social support is required because, as I mentioned earlier, these other aspects of the waste management sector is trying to drive them out. So we need to hold hand and keep, holding their hands together, at least they establish. But for the moment, it's very successful. It has been brought on the success that we were looking for in terms of project outcomes. Another innovation that we practice is the WPC, waste plastic, wood plastic composite materials. Usually we get these a lot from China, but what we want to do is add value using the local materials, the locally discarded non-recyclable plastics to bring into the value chain. So we've actually set up with the Peace Project grant factory in Millennia, and test models have been constructed. So it's without a project like this, it would be difficult to pilot something like this, because like you get the imports at earlier Sujith mentioned at a very low price. But through this we were able to develop some WPC products which are successful. The clients are really willing to buy them. So those 2 are key innovations that we were able to put through the Peace Project.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's a great point of practical implementation and impact measurements. So I think Sujith also might be having kind of...
Yeah, Professor. Regarding this one, actually, so connecting to what I said earlier also, Sri Lanka, I mean, for your question, Sri Lanka also is in the same way like everyone else fighting against this plastic challenge. I mean, reduce, reuse, recycle. I think that is the base of this project also, looking at all these aspects combinedly, everyone and every one of us, as well as the other grantees, are looking at various part of it. So the main challenge, as I said, was to have a recycled pellet at a competitive price, also value, then completing the cycle. Because most of the time we see during the recycling value chain, the material get mainly contaminated or downgraded. As a result, you cannot complete or put it back to the original packaging. Maybe you do a substandard product, right? We wanted to avoid that. We wanted to try out a real circularity, one-to-one replacement. Then the issue is in the value chain. During the value chain, you add maybe hazardous waste to other contaminants. So you had to intervene into the value chain first. That's why we started it with this women-led MRF and other interventions. Starting from the collection, proper quality management throughout the chain ultimately brings the right quality product at the right price. So these were our targets for the innovation. We were successful in that. As a result, we could substitute some of the packagings by recycled pellet even up to 50% and more to the original packaging itself. That was the main achievement which we had. And learnings were like, you need to really intervene into this value chain from the beginning to manage quality as well as value and make it lean as much as possible. Otherwise, it's not going to be on one side the economically competitive, and also it is not giving the right product. As a result, you keep on downcycling and the virgin material will keep on coming. So it's not the circularity is not really happening. To practice it, you have to maintain these two aspects. So those were possible to achieve during our innovation. And the good thing is, since it is competitive in the market, it will not stop with the grant, but it can go on because there's a real business case to run. So that is the main achievement which we have through this innovation, and I think we can continue that also going forward.
Yes, excellent. It's an excellent insight, because we can understand bridging innovation with business is a key. Like, whatever ideas come and people bring, and finally it is kind of a business, otherwise you can't run, right? So,
exactly.
Yeah, in the industrial perspective. Yes, yes, Rakulan. So what do you think about from your perspective, youth and community perspective? Yes.
Yes, Prof. So as an innovation grantee under the Please project, so we have some innovation for the waste management and plastic pollution in the northern region as well as across the Sri Lanka. So we developed the system. We developed the computerized system for the waste management for the local government, local authorities who are managing the public waste. So we believe that digital innovation is a sustainability and time perspectives. There's a sustained system. So we developed and practiced the system in the local government. So these are one of the innovation, and also we still believe the available alternative products is the main cause of the reduce the plastic waste and reduce the plastic usage, the single-use plastic mainly. So we bring one of the coconut leaf straw that is alternative for the plastic straw. So we manufacturing that coconut leaf straw in the northern region, and we have the more resources here. And also we developed one of the other innovation part, the smart bin. So we have some established the bins in the public area. So the public can put their plastic waste in the bin. So the plastic bins we will fill, automatically we get the notification and we can collect the plastic waste through that notification we can collect. So innovation part, we develop some digital and alternative innovation in this under this Please project. Yes.
Okay. That is very truly insightful and encouraging how inclusive engagement and collaboration across all the levels that can create kind of not only environmental impact, but also social and economic transformation, in Sri Lanka. So now I think we can look at something the broader our lens a little, because one of the most remarkable aspect of the Peace Project is that It is not only a nation initiative, but a truly regional effort connecting countries in South Asia. So the regional collaboration creates opportunity for peer to learn or share innovation and technology transfer. So it enables for each country to learn the success and challenges of its peers. So as we know that plastic pollution does not stop at national borders, our ocean connect us all. So I would like to pose this question to all our panelists from your perspective. What key lessons have emerged from the Peace Project regional experience in terms of shared challenge, opportunities, and innovation? How we can enhance the exchange of knowledge, technology, and best practices to make South Asia waste management system more interconnected and sustainable? Yes, even Sujith, you can start with.
Yes, Doctor. I think so. One of the beauty of this project was it was connecting few countries who are having the similar sort of problems in the region. First insight was okay. The problem is not only ours; it is the case in most of the other countries. But if you look at the other parts of the world, the other countries in the group, some of them are moving ahead in certain aspects better than us, like maybe reduction, maybe alternatives, and also in terms of the technologies to intervene in resource recovery. So, of course, we do in Sri Lanka certain aspects as a few grantees, but you can easily, the best thing is to copy with pride, right? That's what I believe. I mean, you don't need to intervene the wheel all the time. So this knowledge coming through the project from other grantees, I think this is not a fight to do recycling. I mean, everyone can copy from the other grantees easily and then implement it locally here so that we can drive the volumes. I think the challenge is the volume drive, because we all know maybe in Sri Lanka the recycling percentage is 3% or even less, right? And also the resource recovery percentage altogether, the well-managed plastic percentage might be at least somehow, some sort of a managing is done at least for, let's say, below 20%, but most of the volumes are mismanaged still. So the volume-driven solutions are required. That's where we can play this knowledge coming from the other countries. You can easily copy the success stories here and implement. That's what I believe the most important thing which we can do through these in cross-country collaborations coming through the Please project. Because I think you are very also the team is very open to share things and support you to implement them here in Sri Lanka, and also we do the same for the other countries. Right now also we have certain collaborations with some of the grantees in other countries, share ideas and learn how they did, what were the challenges, so that when we are doing it, we don't have to go through the same challenges. We can plan and be ready for the challenges and implement that sort of things which they have done in the other countries. I think this is the most beautiful part of the project.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, Nandi. So what do you think about it, Dami?
Yeah. Again, I think the broad aspects which it covered, and if I bring in some specific examples in terms of technology sharing, I think we are very much interested, and also currently even discussing with partners in Bhutan about the green roads using waste plastic on road construction, and from partners from Nepal, how to use the degraded plastic in producing plastic sheets for low-cost housing and other infrastructure construction. And there's a lot of inquiries from our end about how to use the WPC, wood plastic composite. So I think in another 3 or 4 months, we should be able to share our experience with the other countries, which will be very useful for them to bring the degraded plastic into the recycling process. One other thing I think we would like to see is the collaboration among countries to bring in strongly the EPR, the extended producer responsibility aspect, into the policy level, which is slow in our region, but some countries are ahead. But this did not actually come up strongly within the grantees in the project. But I think going ahead, this will be another key aspect. I think community engagement, Rakulan might begin better than us. Even our learnings will be good.
Rakulan, yeah.
Yes. So the South Asia or Asia similar face to the plastic pollution, as the plastic pollution no borders, no borders.
Yes.
And we are the these are the truth. We are the most polluted countries in world. The global South is like the people still we know how to use the plastic, how to manage the waste. So we are the similar countries in South Asia. So in the collaboration part, we got knowledge from other partner countries how they are innovation, how to they reduce the plastic waste or how to manage their plastic in their countries and other innovation as well. But the same times the innovation by the local, the material or skill. So people are the local. Then after it's a sustainable part. So the collaboration is globally or South Asian level, but in the innovation or implementation is the community level. So then there's the sustainable part. Yes, Prof.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Those are the compelling reflection. What's clear is that the success of this project doesn't end with one country. It goes when we share, adapt, and collaborate. So, it's really good. Then we have to go ahead with the kind of a framework or formal way of thinking. So now I would like to shift our focus back to the national policy environment because while innovation and community engagement are crucial, they can only go for so far without strong and consistent policy backing. So in Sri Lanka, we have seen commendable efforts towards reducing single-use plastic and promoting circular economic thinking. But at the same time, there are still gaps in implementation, regulatory clarity, and institutional coordination that makes it difficult to sustain progress in the long run. So I would like to ask all our panelists to share their views on this. How would you describe the current policy landscape in Sri Lanka regarding plastic waste management and circular economic practices? What are the key enablers that have supported progress so far, and what policy challenges or gaps do you believe still need urgent attention? Yes, even we can start with Rakulan. You have any idea, Rakulan? Yes. Yes, anyone?
Okay, I will go ahead,
Yes.
Professor. So we are a group company, actually. We are in multiple countries in this part of the world. So I can bring certain perspective on that aspect as well. We all, like all the countries, in a journey towards circular economy because of certain global demands, like let's say Paris Agreement or Sustainable Development Goals, looking at this net zero by 2050. So all the countries bringing in the policy frameworks, but everyone is in the timeline. Some are behind, right? We are also there, but we don't have the right, all the policies in place at the moment. It's a journey. That's what I believe. What we have seen is most of the time the demand comes first for a policy from manufacturers or the society, and then the policy comes. There's no case that the policy comes first and then comes the implementation and people start doing. Always it is the other way, like because let's say companies, for example, they are bound to different buyer requirements. Let's say Sri Lankan manufacturers, they are exporting things to other part of the world. Then they have to meet the demands created by the buyers to become circular. So they have to implement it locally. Then only they started discussing with the government and start implementing these policies. So that's how it goes. I think we are a little bit moving ahead. There are things to be done, let's say like EPRO, other interventions to push things back to the security, design related interventions, life cycle related interventions. And we don't see much of it in place as the policies right now. But I think it will take time also, because if you look at the industrial landscape, we have large scale manufacturers as well as 60% of Sri Lankan the entities are SMEs. So how to bring everyone together and adapt it to one single policy would be a challenging for the policymakers also. This is the challenge in everywhere when you have a developing country. This challenge is always there. We have seen it in other countries as well. So I think the policies will come. It will take time. But more importantly, we have to keep on working on our agendas to drive the security. Then the demand for a policy will also get, I think, enlarged. And then the policymakers will think to support the industries and the communities by placing right policies eventually down the line with the time, because we all have this 2050 target and the intermediate milestone. So policies should come. It's a matter of time. That's how I believe.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Damitha, you want to add something on that? Sujith?
Yeah, Professor. I think I touched upon this previously as well. We have good policy documents. Statements are there, so we can start from them. What is lacking is directing resources. It's either money or institutional framework to drive what we have put down in the policy into action level. So, for example, we have selected ban of selected number of single-use plastic items. Item-wise specified ban is there, but still we see them in the market. Why? The entities say we don't have the resources to enforce the law. So then we need to use, drive the resources into that and, show results. So that's where I see right now the next step is there are a lot of good clauses in the policy document. We need to identify key priority areas, allocate resources. We all need to work together towards those, see the results, and then go for the next step. So that's what I see what we need.
Yes, Sujith, you want to add something else on that other than the points?
Yes, Prof. So, as Damitha said, that's a real fact. So, policies here. So, we have the National Policy on Waste Management, National Action Plan for the Waste Management 2021 to 2030. But the resources allocation is a big issue in Sri Lanka. And also the implementation part, the implementation part. Even the local government, they have the bylaws, they have the regulation, they have everything is documented, but resources, even there's sanitation workers, there's a lack of sanitation workers, there's a lack of waste resources, vehicles. So we need to, as in the Sri Lankan framework, we need to the resources and allocate resources for the waste management. Even the collaboration with the private sector is also very important, and also the international commitment, the intergovernmental negotiation committee. There's in the 5, so there's some commitment we have. So overall, we need to allocate the resources, how to implement the proper way, because we have the policies. We have the policies actually. Yeah, that is my concern also.
I think, yeah, those are very insightful points. So building on that, do you feel, I think Sujith also can answer that. Building on that, do you feel that the lack of strong policy support or coordination has limited innovation in private sector participation in this space? What specific policy measures, for an example, as extended producer responsibility or incentives for recyclers or public-private partnership could truly help scale sustainable waste management across the country?
Yes, Professor, I see it in a different way. What Rakulan said is more affecting, also what Damitha said is more affecting than, having new policies. We have set of policies which are not enforced properly. Maybe lack of resources is the reason. So as a result, like we can have many more policies as add-ons. Still, if you don't have the resources to, if you don't know the way to execute it properly, then it's just a document and people keep on doing the same thing. Nothing will get materialized. So this enforcement is pretty much important, because at the moment also, like, we have very strong waste management policy, but people still do mismanagement. As a result, the innovation is not driven because you have the open dumping option, right? if the enforcements happen properly, then people will look at innovations or driving new things to, manage your waste properly. So it's a matter of not having new policies, but enforcing the existing ones also. On the other hand, the things I do agree on EPR and certain other aspects because of this value chain challenge. Because so this was the clear innovation which we were doing in this project, the police project. But doing that also, we see that there are other types of materials where you have a value chain challenge which cannot be bridged by the individuals or the entities easily, where the consumers need to pay, and that should come through a EPR where the manufacturers become the implementation body. So I think that sort of things are required because we can learn from the other countries. Everywhere people are witnessing these challenges. That's why EPR laws are there to bridge the value chain challenge so that you can keep driving the circular economy. And that is a proven fact in many countries. So there's nothing to learn by ourselves. It's just a copy paste thing which we have to do. I think it's a known fact. Also, that sort of things, I believe that they should come. On the other side, the most important thing is to enforce the existing laws and regulations so that they will drive the innovations. Because if you give an option to dump and walk away, like externalizing your costs, then people will not do the innovations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All of these points, like it is well taken. I understood the policy is not just an enabler, right? There are a lot of things to be done, but still policy we need as a foundation for a long-term sustainability. Maybe we can include, it depends on the situations, maybe technology or awareness, or we can bring those as a kind of a very important things, including in the policy framework. So we should have a kind of inclusive policy framework that can be connected. Maybe
policy is also a part of the ecosystem.
Yeah, but part of it. So it can be connected government, industry, or communities. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Now we are moving on to the very, very interesting insight, personal dimension. And because before we wrap up, I would like to bring in more personal stories to listen here. So each of you has played a unique role in this journey, working in the communities, managing large-scale sustainable projects, and driving change within this industry. So, and I believe it's those personal experiences that often inspire others to take action. So I would like to ask each and everyone to share the short reflection. What has personally motivated you to stay committed in addressing plastic waste and sustainability challenges in Sri Lanka? Yes, Damitha.
Yeah, many experiences which drives keep me motivated and our organization. If I bring some specific points that we met through the project without going too far behind in the time. Some of one inspiring two stories were there were two people who were mobility impaired. They couldn't they were walking on either clutches or in a wheelchair, but we found them that they were engaged in collecting waste from the environment. Because of not even because of an economic aspect, they thought that's what they can do to support the environment. So that was really motivating for us. So because of the project, we supported them with e-wheelchairs, and so they were able to expand their ability. So that was really motivating. Apart from that, some women entrepreneurs who get involved in this aspect, even if it's a tough job. They think of the society, the future of their children, what happens to the society. So that was really inspiring for us. That motivation, like what people put in beyond an economic value to keep the environment clean, is what actually, even as an organization for the Nicambo Recycling Club, that motivates us to go forward.
Okay, thank you, Damitha. I think Sujith also might be having any experiences or challenges or instances.
So since you, yes. Of course, Doctor, since you asked what is the personal motivation?
Yeah.
So I'm in my 40s. You all maybe also. So I have seen, when we were born, we didn't have this much of plastics, right? we use all these the different types of bags, reusable bags, and when we went to the shop to buy sugar, it was not given in a plastic bag, but it was given in wrapped by a paper. So we experienced the problem of plastic. I mean, we were part of it, right? We enjoyed having plastics in our early ages, having plastic bags. I have wrapped myself plastic bags and kept it nicely, the polythene bags, because I believe that this is a nice thing. I didn't know that it will be a bigger problem when I'm at my 40s, right? So we are part of this problem. We started using plastics and we made it a problem. This is a man-made problem. It's not like something coming automatically. So we made this issue and now we have to solve it. Like I cannot pass it to my kids and, die. So that's how I believe. It's not a artificial thing or it coming from the nature. It's something which we have made, all of us, because we all are adults. And that's why I think we need to solve this also.
It's true, yeah. Yes, Rakulan. Yes,
Yes, my story is a little bit different. So I am from North. So before 2009, we don't have a much experience with the plastic. We have the little access in the plastic. After 2009, we have got more plastic usages. Then after this, usually in our life. In 2018, so I worked with some my friends doing some cleanup programs, doing some plastic awareness. I see how where is the plastic come here, how to come here. So my friend and myself, with the sanitation workers in the one of the local government, appointed to local government, urban council, with the sanitation workers, we go with them. The local government sanitation workers, they collected from the household. So we saw there's a mixed waste coming from household. And also there are sanitation workers, not the proper way of collection, not proper way where the PPE or gloves or any shoe, they are just came without the gloves, collecting the plastic, collecting the waste. Then after that truck go to the dumping yard, there's an open dumping yard. In 2018, I see also there's some huddles in there. They are waiting for the truck for their eat breakfast. So that is the practice in Jaffna. So the no proper waste management from the household, no proper PPE in the local government, no proper dumping yard in the local government. So and after the plastic coming to the environment. And also that the time that one of the reports says that Sri Lanka is the 5th place in the plastic, through the plastic in the environment and also the ocean. So this is the main motivation I am in this sector. So we start the cleanup, we start the awareness program, but still it's not enough. When we get the cleanup, other days coming. When we do the awareness, there's no alternative, there's no point. So then after we are going for the collect the plastic and go to the recycling path, we collecting and send to the recyclers who are doing the recycle. Then after we think there's a non-recyclable materials as well, like the shopping bag. We don't have a proper mechanism, even in the local government, even the private sector. So we think, so we want to the alternative. We want to the alternative, then after we can reduce the plastic. So we start the alternative product, start the cloth bag, start the banana fiber products, start the coconut leaf straw. So this is the journey. Actually, we started and we are now in, but still we want to do more and more. Yeah.
That's the point. I think I can go for a next. So thank you for all those truly inspiring stories. As we come towards the end of the discussion, I would like to close on the forward-looking note, because every successful dialogue should leave us thinking about what comes next. So we have spoken about the challenges, innovation, and policy gaps, but the real question is now, where do we go from here? So I would like to ask each our panelists to brief share thoughts on this. Where do we go from here? Yeah. Yes, Sujith or Damitha?
Yes, Professor. So, as I said, we are about 20 plus years in the waste management. We manage different sorts of waste, and we see different challenges. It can be technology, it can be economy, it can be policy, it can be also the human intervention. So, plastic specifically, if you look at, we have been innovating a lot of new plastic types. Maybe we were celebrating durability of plastics and strength of plastics, all these things. Now we know that is a problem, and the efforts which we have put to make durable, long-lasting, strong plastics, now same sort of efforts we have to put again to do innovations on solving that problem. I think we are not yet doing 100%. Everyone need to keep on innovation to solve this issue, because it has taken years to come up to this level, and it will take few more years to solve it also. We don't have that much time also, because the problem is getting much worse, and creating it's affecting the climate and all the other environmental aspects. So we have to be faster, but we have to keep on innovating to solve this issue as well as waste related other issues. The only thing is to collaborate, copy from the others, and adapt. That would be the faster way, because people are doing different things everywhere in the world. So the best thing is copy paste approach, as I said. And also there are unsolved problems, maybe particular to a local context, because of the different challenges which I said earlier, technology or economy, or the people involvement, etc. So where you need some specific innovations, where the projects like Please Project also can help. But still, as a company, we would keep on doing, because we look at every part of the waste issue, maybe hazardous, non-hazardous, non-recyclable, in this case recyclable. So we will keep on doing the innovations, as well as working on the sector, because the volume drive should be there with everyone, because we have a big pile of unsolved problems related to waste, and the volume drive can solve and create a good environment, and that's where we are working on.
Okay, thank you, Sujith. And Damitha, you want to add something on it?
Yeah, I think adding on to it is collaboration is the major part. Like here we see in Sri Lanka, we had many, 5 grantees who were involved from different corners of the problem, who are trying to find a solution. So working together is key. So we could address different aspects of this plastic issue. There's no one single solution, as Sujith mentioned. We have to learn from different parts. As we find a solution that may get converted into a problem like that, we need to keep on innovating and finding solutions. So from our end, the key next steps would be pushing for EPR is a key, because we think that's a way of channeling funds for innovation and improving the recycling methods and improving the value chain. So pushing for EPR is one thing, and collaborating with partners, with people like Rakulan, INSEE, there's ICI, and several other entities, locally Sri Lankan entities, and also the South Asian region partners that we found, especially Green Roads and all those entities working together to find solutions for our local issues. So that's like one thing that I need to mention is, like, because of the Please Project, we got another intervention to work with the Clean Sri Lanka project, again with the support of SAKE. So the wheel is moving now. So yeah, keep innovating and finding new solutions is the way forward.
Yeah, thank you. Rakulan, so do you think you can add something on it? Yes, Rakulan.
Yeah. So in this initiative, it's not a short term, it's a long term. It's long-term work. So we need to the project-based action to the system-based transformation. So we need to transform it as a system-based, and also the creating the network also for the sustainable part. We need to establish our network as well. Yes, Prab, I think these are the main 2 things.
Yeah, thank you. Those are thoughtful and motivating perspective. The path ahead will require continued collaboration and policy alignment and innovation, as well as I believe that all this shared sense of responsibility for every sector and citizen is very, very important. So now I would like to open this forum to the participants or any attendees. If they have any questions, they can raise to the panelist. Yeah. Yes, any questions? Yes.
Professor, there is a question on Q&A.
Yes. See the chat box. Yes, there is a question. In what ways are the local communities being engaged in peace project in Sri Lanka, and how have their feedback being incorporated?
I think, Professor, this was touched by Damitha and myself. We saw this one earlier and touched during the session.
Yes, so I think we don't need to answer for that. We already answered. Yeah, thank you for that. I think actually talking.
I think there's a one hand has raised. I mean, if you can ask the question.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Can you all hear me? Vijay Pal here.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. One question for Sujith. That is, you all know that public-private partnership, that is one of the challenge. But based on the experience, I just wanted to listen from you. This is regarding that you all are having multiple government partners, that is public partners, and also you are working with private partners to sell the product. That is based on the Sri Lankan plastic waste management policy, the guide based on the strategy, 5-year strategy. They have a target, so you all are supporting for that target, and for this one, you have to sell the product to the private vendors. So based on this scenario, what kind of learnings you can share? If it is if something is business strategy, you don't want to expose it, but what are the learnings you can give to the audience? That is one question to Sujith. The second question is to Damitha. This is for since you are building almost the construction is completed for the state-of-the-art recycling center in Sri Lanka. What do you think? What kind of changes that will make, or that what kind of paradigm shift that could create in Sri Lanka and the rest of the regional countries? How that will be impact based on this state-of-the-art recycling facility? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Vijay. I think I will go first. What you asked about private-public partnerships. I'll start it like this way. If you look at the waste in the country, we have two types of waste. One is the waste coming out of the industries, and the other one is post-consumer waste. So relatively, this industrial waste is managed well because these are coming from entities. They have responsibilities related to the local, regulations. They have obligations. So relatively well managed, I would say. But the post-consumer waste is the challenge. But there you have the biggest volumes also, specifically plastic, etc., where the people intervention, the community engagement, you need part of the public as well, the government intervention or the public intervention as well. There, I think having the public partnership is mandatory. But the motivation for a public entity to come and drive innovation, we all know that it's not relatively high, right? But innovation is required to drive the solution. The problem is mainly lying with the public area, public part of it, the post-consumer waste problem. The innovation should come from the private entities. So we are looking at the problem in this way, and we are trying to make this bridge, by making a common interest. We have become successful also, especially in this project as well. And we keep on doing, because you have to make this bridge, because the interest for innovation and interest for business is with the private entities. The problem lies somewhere else. If you can make a proper business case by combining these two together, then you can have the solution for the problem and also a very good ecosystem which can drive it and sustain it throughout the rest of, after you implementing it, it can keep on sustaining, providing the solution to the public. So what I believe is that the right combination can bridge these two things together and make a very good business case.
Yes, thank you,
Thank
Sujith.
you.
There is a question for Damitha also.
Yeah. If you look at the state-of-the-art recycling facility we set up in Millennia through the BLUECAP project, it has two elements. It recycles normal plastic, the conventional plastic like the PP, HDP, LDP, and also developing the wood plastic composite. So one aspect, even like the technology is their state-of-the-art technology, but there's a aspect that we are bringing in terms of market penetration, where we would like to provide for desired needs of the plastic recyclers, producers especially. So we try to provide high quality recycled plastic from the normal plastic. So that's where the whole project engagement value chain, where we start from the avoid intercept strategy, where we try to bring in segregated quality plastic from the source and then recycle. So that's a new aspect we are bringing in through our recycling plant. We cater to the needs of the recyclers so they can compete with the virgin products and produce good quality product. Then the WPC compound is another innovative aspect, which is for the first time in Sri Lanka that we are producing, because China can produce at low cost from the virgin, but our target is different. From the used degraded plastic is what we are trying to produce a WPC compound for higher value added products. As Sujith mentioned earlier, going on up of the value chain is the answer. Producing low quality products will not give you a solution. You need to go up in the ladder, transfer the money to the people down, lower the value chain, people who are segregating. So that's what this recycling plant is trying to answer. I think, yeah, we should be able to hit that target.
Okay, yeah, I
Thank
think
you.
that
Thank you very much.
both of
And
our
also,
remarks.
thank you very much,
Okay.
Professor, for the well-articulated moderation. Thank you.
Okay. If there is one takeaway, so we are coming to the end, and from today's discussion, it's that progress happens when we combine vision with action. That is what I understood, and that start with each of us right here and right now. Thank you for all our panelists and the participants for this insightful and thoughtful provoking discussion. Today's conversation has highlighted that tackling plastic waste is not just an environmental necessity. It is a collective responsibility that requires innovation, collaboration, and community participation. Through the PLEASE project, we have seen Sri Lanka making steady progress in transforming challenges into opportunities, developing innovative recycling solutions, empowering communities and informal waste workers, and encouraging gender inclusive and locally driven models of sustainability. So we also learned that public-private partnership play a vital role in bridging gaps between policy and practice, while regional collaboration, particularly peer learning and technology transfer between countries, that can help scale up these impact across South Asia. As many speakers emphasize, the journey ahead depends on strong kind of policy support. Again, the institutional framework and long-term behavioral changes are important. So these lessons and innovations from PLEASE offer a strong foundation, I believe, but still there are sustaining them requires alignment across government, private sector, and community levels. In closing, I would like to leave us with one reflection. Managing plastic waste is not only about reducing pollution, it is about building a secular, inclusive, and resilient society. The knowledge, partnership, and personal stories shared today remind us that change begins when innovation meets purpose. So thank you once again to all the panelists for their valuable insight, and to everyone here for participating in the critical conversation. Let's continue to collaborate, learn, and lead towards the plastic-free, sustainable future for Sri Lanka and our region. Thank you.